Oh, all right. Hello, and welcome to uh episode of the Montoya show. Um, I could picture this being a series from here on out. Uh, we're doing a tribute to the great. Yeah, it's on the screen. Okay, cool. The tribute to the great David Lynch. Rest in peace. Died at 78. Uh, he I'll just say this. I don't I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing now or ever without him. Honestly, he's like one of the top. He's probably one of the most top three influential people to me. That's what I would say personally. Made a huge. I think a lot of people in general, but in my case, made a huge impact on me when I was younger, and yeah, and got me into. I mean, I was already into movies and stuff at that point, but definitely got me into more alternative, avant-garde, indie. I would say he's probably the really the one that got me into like, even though I've seen ones back then, but he's really the one that got me in the whole indie film thing. I feel like, and yeah, and from that, not just that, but that even got me into like different types of music and open up my like 12-year old brain or whatever to other things, and that there's more things out there than just standard, like, I mean, I was into movies at the time and I watched a lot of stuff that was pretty highbrow or out there for a 12-year-old, but they're kind of standard, like think of like the IMDb top movie stuff, like that kind of stuff. And but there's nothing wrong with it, but that's you know it opened up, and then from there I realized that there's even more people that are transgressive than him or more out there, and like then. But the thing about David, unlike all of them, was he truly was, I think, the most authentic out of all the those guys. And I yeah, like he is known for his work for it being weird and stuff, but he didn't really think of it as weird. He just did it. There was no, everything was like organically authentic. And we watched all the behind the scenes of his films and Twin Peaks and things like that. The way he works and creates, everything's very organic, very in the moment, kind of. He didn't try hard. He just did it, and it didn't matter if the movie came out weird or anything like that. It didn't matter, and he wasn't trying to be weird. It just was authentic, and yeah, and everybody, he's, a lot of people tried ripping him off. A lot of people, and uh, you see a lot of filmmakers, and not just gonna say filmmakers, but artists in general that try really hard being weird, and and he was the real deal. Like, he was just always himself. There's only a few filmmakers like that. I put him, Werner Herzog, same way, very authentic. He's just always himself. There's no, he's not, he's another one that doesn't try hard at all. He just is. That's just who he is. I don't know. I might be. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head right now. But he was among one of the most authentic filmmakers, and yeah, it's shame he passed away. Yeah. Now I heard a while back. I knew he was in bad health. I heard a while back. I heard that he's on the oxygen tank. I didn't know that he couldn't speak. I didn't hear about that part, but yeah, he was on the way out, and it was sooner than I thought. But yeah, uh, he has passed away. We lost one of the great uh, yeah, he's like I guess there's a few left, but I was gonna say one of the last great American artists, classic or great American artists. So, um, yeah. Uh, I don't know, Dave. What is? Give your thoughts. I've talked too long.
My thoughts on his passing, or my
Yes.
thoughts on him more broadly, or
Let's do both.
okay, but well, I mean, I was pretty I don't know, the same feelings as anybody
Yeah.
probably. Um, I I don't know. I just saw one of those fucking like posts or whatever. It's just a where it's just a black and white picture and the 1946 or whatever dash 2025, and it's just like fuck, ah shit. I mean, I knew also, as anyone else did probably, that he was in poor health, relatively speaking, and like not to mention like in LA while like the fires have been going.
Yeah. And I've read there's some people that theorize that it's what killed him quicker, but I don't know.
I
I don't.
mean,
I
even just moving around as he, I think, had to do would probably not be great for him. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless, I knew that, like, yeah, and like I had thought, like, yeah, oh man, it's gonna suck when he goes, but like I was thinking in terms of like, it's gonna suck in like a year or two when he dies, and it's like a few months later, basically,
Yeah. That's weird.
which
Yeah, because I
obviously,
just had a I think we probably talked about not too long ago, but I also had a conversation with like a couple other people about this exact topic. Like even like not even like a month ago. I talked about this. Yeah. Fuck. Um. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, but yeah. What did you think about him broadly as an artist, a person, whatever?
um, well, he was like really, um, in many ways, like the sort of like artistic, like who I would look up to since I was like maybe like 11 or something.
Same, yeah, same here. I was right on that same age when I got him.
And just a sort of like near constant source of like inspiration and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just something to aspire to if nothing else. And I think that past a certain point he was maybe such a like a hallmark or whatever of like my interest in the arts or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that I kind of got to the point where like not that I was ever like sick of him, but it's just like I had gotten to the point where it's like, okay, well, I've probably like listened to everything this guy's had to say. I haven't seen all his movies, but like I understand like the way he goes. I've gone through all the, it's a little bit of a pun, but rabbit holes
Mm-hmm.
of his like output, like aside from just like features and stuff. And I've probably gotten it all by now or whatever. But my interest was rekindled pretty recently when I watched his film The Elephant Man,
Hmm.
which I had never seen before. And it sort of it shook me out of that a little bit in the sense that like I was like confronted with the fact that, he isn't just sort of like some easy to pin down like Twitter
Yeah.
posts, like screenshots or whatever of like checkered carpets or what have you, and that he's a whole thinking, feeling entity
Hmm.
as an artist. I mean, um, and even despite that, recently, and it popped in my mind pretty quick after I read the news or whatever, saw the news, however, whatever. Um, I had thought back to a couple of days ago. There was a podcast, not even a podcast really. It's just like a recording of some interview you did back in '97 for Lost Highway,
Yeah.
like a Q&A session. And I was listening to it, and it was like it through no fault of his own. It was a Q&A. It was the audience's
Hmm.
fault for asking him like basically the same question, but it was the same thing of like, where do the ideas really come from? And he was like, and it's fishing, and the blah, 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 and there's a seed, and the same spiel that like everybody could probably just like go off for like a minute, just like whatevering,
Hmm.
just riffing on the basic theme, as he was forced to do so often in his life. Um, and I remember just being like, oh, I'm so tired of it. I'm so like, yeah, whatever. Okay, sure, sure. And and I remember just I mean, I don't even need to really finish it. I think it's so clear that just like now it means something else to hear that all of that. It's
Yeah.
if that makes sense. The context has certainly changed.
Right. Yeah.
So
He's somebody that uh, I wouldn't say I got burnout on necessarily, or grew out of. I kind of grew out of, but not really. Like, well, especially not really when years ago when I watched Twin Peaks: The Return, which I still think, and it's very fitting. That's his last final uh,
sure.
film project, whatever you want to call it. It's fitting. It's I mean, for like it's a swan song. It's the perfect swan song. It's epic. It's long. It's what's the word? A
Uncompromising.
yes, but a glom. It's like everything. His entire body of work and like life put in like one thing, and the ending of it. The ending of the Twin Peaks: The Return is super fitting for the end of pretty much his filmography. It's the perfect like ending to his filmography, and um, yeah, it's uh, but he was always somebody that I never like. There's a certain people that I really liked when I was younger, and I kind of kind of grew out of and stuff. But he was one that I never like was like hated, or not hated, but like I got sick where I'm like, ugh, I can't stand him anymore. I've always loved him. There's certain people uh like hate's not the right word, but yeah, like you're burnt out, like ugh, no more. Like somebody is like Tarantino is like that to me. I like someone I liked a lot when I was younger, but I don't dislike Tarantino, but I still watch his podcasts and things from time to time. But he's kind of one of those where I'm like, just like I'm done. Like I know it's the same thing.
Right.
Like get out of here, kind of thing. But David Lynch was never like that. He's never a guy that was like get out of here. I think what helps though, I think what helps too is that because his uh the gaps in his like filmography and stuff. Like he's not necessarily elusive, but like he never like his last actual feature length theatrical movie was Inland Empire, which is like 2006, 19 years ago. So he was one of those guys that's never. I don't know. He didn't have that burnout factor because how long he took to make movies or just do projects in general. So, um, yeah, which I think makes a huge difference because I feel like there's like a filmmaker that puts out the same thing or puts out films like so close together, you kind of get burnt out on them after a while. Not even just filmmakers, even there's like especially I experienced with like sort of like music artists and stuff that are like this with their albums where you get to a certain point where it's like okay, I'm kind of done or whatever, but
Mm.
uh, you know, yeah, he's never one of those people that I ever. I would say I kind of grew out of him, kind of, but never like I would say like grew tired of him or had some. I've always like liked him, and so but I watched the earlier I watched the Straight Story, which is the only film of his I've never seen. Only a long time ago, I attempted to watch it on a public library DVD. I remember I popped it in, and the disc was completely like destroyed, and I couldn't even watch the movie, and so I just never watched it ever since. And I've always tried getting around to watch it. It's been sitting on my watch list for like ages. I think it's been on my watch list for like 6 years or something like that. And then I finally, it was the first time I put it on, and it's always one of those two when people are like, well, it's like that's the last movies of his you should watch, or I watched it. I actually think it's a pretty good movie. I think it's uh, yeah, I think it's a beautiful film, and also it was very fitting to the type of movie it is. It's actually kind of fitting day to watch it. This passing, well, it's filmed about guy he's visiting his brother dying, and a lot of it is about like getting old, like health issue. And the guy in the movie, the main guy, has um, emphysema, whatever, emphysema, and so which I thought was interesting because the kind of the parallels with uh, Lynch and Lynch's health, and so yeah, it was almost a fitting movie. It might actually been his like most fitting movie to watch today. Um, and yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good movie. I mean, I if you read like online and stuff, it has pretty high ratings and stuff. I think it has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Like it's a considered really good movie, but a lot of David Lynch fans and stuff don't. They're like, it's okay. I've heard that, but I actually think it's more than okay. I think it's actually a pretty good
Would you
movie.
say that a lot of David Lynch fans don't necessarily I don't want to say get it, but maybe have a shallow view of him as an artist or
Yes,
kind
and this is the thing too. The movie is straight up him. It totally like you could tell he made it. Like the dialogue, the it has him all over it, and especially too, it has that kind of Americana kind of like simple life kind of thing, which he was very much, and like yeah, it feels very much like him, and so yeah, it's just because there isn't anything. It's a drama, and there isn't any like experimental film moments or avant-garde moments or anything. But there's scenes that are straight up like him, like with Sissy Spacek in it. She's like an autistic girl with like a stuttering problem, and she's in this doctor's office. She sees these paintings of these birds, and she's like, birds, birds, birds. And he said, then she says, I make birdhouses, you know. The nurse or whatever. It's like, I like birds. She says it like that. It's very, and then the scene just moves on. You know, they don't really reference that. It just is there, and that's why like you could tell like he made that scene. It's straight up, you know, a Lynch like scene, and and then there's parts in it too where the some of the dialogues it's with a lot of like old kind of country guys and stuff. They're all kind of wise and stuff, and like some of the dialogue, like the you know their words of wisdom and stuff, is very like Lynchian, like the way they deliver it, like well you when you're down you have to da da da. But I don't know, I can't describe it, but it sounds like David Lynch. You could tell like he made it up, like it's something he would say, like kind of weird. You know, when you're a big fish in a pond and you don't know what to do, just da
Hmm.
da da. It's like that type of stuff, you know. Like so, it's a very Lynchy, like it's very much him. I don't know why people say it's nothing like his other movie. It's straight up like it's just that because there's no avant garde or like it's not in like the same genre as other films. That's the only reason why. But it is his movie. You can tell he made it. Like it's pretty blatant. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good movie. Uh, I don't know if I would. I don't know how to rank it. It's I don't know where I would rank it. His movies are kind of hard to rank. They're kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, it might be my least, but I it's pretty good. That's the thing. Actually don't really like. I don't dislike any of his movies, or I don't really rank them that low. Or anything. I don't rate them that low, really. And so yeah, I even like Dune. Like Dune's a pretty flawed movie, but I like it. There's a lot of
I
things
love
I
Dune.
like
Dune,
about it.
I'd
It doesn't make
actually
sense
put
or
in the top
anything, but I like it. Yeah.
I don't know if I have like any sort of official like ranking. I don't know if I've made like a letterbox list or something of like
Yeah.
David Lynch ranked. But I mean, I'm trying to think like, have I seen most of his films or not? Because like first four, and like I know Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive, and I'm trying to think of what I'm missing or leaving out exactly.
Have you seen Inland Empire?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, that's
That one I really gotta see.
that. I think that's like one of my favorites of his. Uh, a lot of people actually that's another one that a lot of people kind of rank. I think a bit lower. I know a lot of people that don't like that one as much.
Mine
I
is
That's my favorite. That's my favorite out of his Woman in Trouble trilogy. Actually,
what's his Woman in
Lost
Trouble?
Highway, Mulholland Drive, and uh,
Does
Inland Empire,
I think of that as like the L.A. trilogy,
or
if any.
L.A. trilogy. Yeah,
Who's I or is what's her face? Rosanna Arquette? Is she the woman in trouble in Lost Highway?
yes,
Fair enough.
yeah, yeah. And there's also well, all three of them too. They have like the body switching thing, whatever. All three of them have that same thing where they switch lives and stuff for the characters,
Yeah.
switch personalities and stuff. Yeah, uh, but yeah, my least favorite out of that trilogy, the Lost Highway, favorite out of those. But
Um, of those two films, I put kind of low in my like appreciation of his filmography. I never, well, maybe not never, but as it stands today, I find them somewhat lesser than like a Blue Velvet or even an Elephant Man.
Yeah, Lost Highway is kind of a edge. It's like an edgy like '90s
I have the sound.
movie, and it
I've
has the
listened to
sound.
that
I actually like
soundtrack.
this. I actually like the soundtrack.
There's
It's
some
very
great
like
fucking. There's some great shit on the soundtrack.
yeah, but it's very edgy '90s.
I well,
Almost borderline. The movie almost kind of reminds me. There's almost reminds me of, like a Greg Araki movie. Like there's certain elements that kind of remind me of his movies.
I
Especially too with the cast because he always throws in like, oh look, here's this person from the '90s at the time, like random
like
cameos and
Henry
stuff.
Rollins and some shit.
Yeah,
I
and Marilyn's in Lost Highway, right?
yes, he is. And
Yeah,
I was just about to say, like, I also have Marilyn Manson to thank for like getting me into David Lynch. Not cause so much because of Lost Highway. I found out that he was in that and like did some like gave some songs for the soundtrack a little later.
mm-hmm.
But I once saw a picture of Marilyn Manson, Twiggy Ramirez, and I think Courtney Love like hanging out together that back the backstage thing, and I noticed that Marilyn Manson was wearing a Twin Peaks T-shirt, and I was like, "What's that?" And that was whatever. So, in theory, I mean, I would have come across him probably, like no matter what. But in theory, I do in fact have Marilyn Manson to thank for turning me on to Lynch. So that's a fact about me.
Hold on, sorry. Uh, so yeah, I was because I don't know how long I was gonna. I don't even know how long this is gonna be. I don't know how long I'm gonna stretch it out. But I was also even thinking about um, going through his filmography.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Have you looked at much of his like outside of like the films and like Twin Peaks, like any of like the shorts and more
yeah,
like
I've seen. I think I've seen all of his shorts.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah.
like proper shorts, or like have you looked at all his like
Well, yeah,
experience?
those and some of his web stuff like Dumbland. I've seen. Also, I didn't realize he made that. Maybe I haven't seen all these shorts. I've seen a lot of these, but I don't think I've seen all of the. Yeah, I forgot he did like the YouTube, the ones he put on YouTube. Uh, yeah, I remember the one with like the bug on the tree, and when the bug falls, I just remember he's filmed it, and when it falls, it's like, like it's like dramatic. That's all I remember. That short. um, oh yeah, the monkey. I forgot about the monkey one. That was on Netflix. Yeah, what did Jack do?
I liked that. I always liked that. Is that the last like official thing he did?
Yeah,
Because
it
that was
is.
after the return.
Yeah, that's his last official thing.
Shouts
Cause
out, shouts out to Netflix for not like doing any of the shit that he wanted to do and just doing his like little monkey short film. And
yeah,
now he's dead.
yeah. So I can go through some of the shorts. Yeah, six men getting sick six times. That's his first thing he ever did, which pretty
Yeah,
cool at the
his
time.
first film
I've
project.
seen the alphabet. Actually, I'm a kind of a fan. Yeah, it was like the alphabet, the grandmother. I like quite a bit. The amputee. I think it's similar to those. I'm trying to remember the amputee.
The amputee was a little more like stripped back, if I recall. It
Uh,
was, I think it was like one shot, one like static shot or something, and like
mm.
a voiceover.
Then the cowboy and the Frenchman, which is a lot like this. I don't really remember that one that much, but I remember that one's a lot like how the straight story is. It's kind of similar. Um, Premonition following an evil deed. I think that's the one. Yeah. That's the one where it's filmed with like a 1800s film
Is
camera and
that for
shit.
the Lumiere brothers
Yeah.
tribute thing? Right. And there was one that was for like another, like it was I think Cannes produced like a bunch of directors doing a short film on a theme we give them or something. And that was the one where it's like well, do you see a title there? Have you seen that?
I'm not seeing it right now. Hmm. And then he did that one which that live it's like a hour long what's it called? The industry something,
Yeah, I
the
think about that.
concert thing.
Industrial number or something, or
Yeah.
that was like the didn't he have Laura Dern and Nick Cage for that? It was like a
Yeah.
side project they were doing together.
Yeah.
It was cool. I don't know. I don't think watched much, if any of it, but I saw some stills that always sort of stuck with me. And I
I
was
think
like,
it's
the
cool that um Laura Dern and Kyle MacLachlan got their like breakout stuff from David Lynch, and then like
yeah,
you all both of them, you especially Kyle MacLachlan, you see pop up everywhere, and it's always and it's just funny, like you see like Kyle MacLachlan's been in like Pixar movies and stuff, and like Laura Dern's obviously the daughter of Bruce Dern, but she's from a Hollywood family, but yeah, like she's been in mainstream, like really super, mainstream movies, Jurassic Park and stuff, and it's kind of funny that like their not necessarily origin, but yeah, their breakout stuff is from Lynch. It's
yeah.
funny.
I can't name one thing that Kyle MacLachlan was in before Dune.
Yeah,
I don't think.
and then it's cool too that because they were both close friends with him and stuff, and they never
Yeah,
like left his side or anything. They never, because a lot of like actors will they'll just kind of abandon a ghost, some old filmmaker mentor they worked with, and it's like, well, they don't make that much money or whatever. They're kind of out there, but they always stayed in touch, and they always appeared in his projects.
I think more than like any other director or whatever. Like, do I like? Well, like I never hear any actor ever say a bad word against him ever. I don't think I ever have.
No.
And even some like pretty likable directors, you can usually find someone like kind of bitching and moaning about like, oh well, I've had to or whatever. But like I never really heard that about David.
No.
And it probably speaks just as much to like his ability to find like people who are like good to work with as much as it speaks to like how he behaves on a set or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. And I always thought his relationship with Kyle and Laura Dern and stuff was very sweet, very cute. Uh, that he would they always call him Kale.
Mm.
Kale is his name, and they well, Kyle MacLachlan dated Laura Dern a long time ago, and they almost they pretty much like almost grew up like working for him and stuff in a way. I now more so Laura Dern. I didn't realize how old Kyle MacLachlan was, even in like those Blue Velvet and stuff. I always assumed he looks a lot younger than he actually was. Um, but yeah, and a long time ago when David got the Oscars. What is it called? The honorary legend award thing. Whatever you called that. I can't even talk right now.
Lifetime achievement thing or
Yeah.
whatever.
Holy shit, dude. I'm so sick right now. And yeah, and they were uh, Kyle MacLachlan up there, talking about him and stuff, and it was very sweet. They I'm not crying because of what I'm talking. I'm crying because I'm sick. But it's very fitting. Uh, and uh, you know, they're saying things like, like, oh, we love you, David, and all this stuff, and it's just funny, Dave. But David's all like has that like poker face he always has, where he's just like, they always I laughed every time they panned to him. He's just like,
Mm.
that's what his reaction to everything was, just
That's
yeah,
a man of mystery always.
yeah, yeah. And this thing too, like he said, he never heard anything bad about him, and he was a you can tell by watching his movies, he was definitely a horny man. But you never heard all the ladies; they all loved him, and he got like the most beautiful women in his movies.
Well, he was horny with a good
Not just
heart.
not just beautiful, but like we're like, oh, that girl's pretty, but like the top, like unique beauties.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good at
The rare beauties.
picking. Yeah, he was very good at picking girls, and
No doubt.
he's also good at picking girls because they all. There's people that even talk about like there's even that term I've heard like people say a David Lynch girl, and like yeah, they all had like it's really hard to describe in words, but yeah, they were David Lynch girls. They're very specific kind of
Mm-hmm.
women.
I think I was watching The Return. I'm only a couple episodes in really, and that was a while back.
Is it the first the couple episodes is just like people like walking around in rooms silently in like warehouses?
It was
That's like the first
definitely
couple
yeah.
episodes. That's
No,
all I
I know.
remember. It was like yeah.
No. But I was watching it, and it was and there was the jailbait chick from Californication or whatever, but like a few years older, obviously. And even then, I was kind of like, damn, he still kind of has like a type, doesn't he? Like she still kind of fits the bill a little bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know, just something to admire.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So I can go through his. I forgot that he was in Cleveland show.
Yeah, I
Character
was
Cleveland.
watching that clip go around where he's like, "Upsy daisy boy, baby boy," or whatever, and he's like bouncing Cleveland on his knee. I love you, Cleveland.
Yeah, and uh could also talk about when he was supposed to because there's some funny. Oh, we got chat comments. Someone says, I don't know who David Lynch is. Other person just commented, Elephant Man. Great chat. Great.
Shouts out to the guy who said elephant man.
This Elephant Man. um, but yeah, we call because there's a lot of like funny stories, funny moments that David Lynch. Cause yeah, he was supposed to direct Return of the Jedi. Or it was this very funny.
He was telling me about these Ewoks, and I started getting a migraine headache.
Yeah,
And the crowd goes
he
wild.
said how George drove like he was so hungry and he drove him because David Lynch only liked eating like diner food.
Mm-hmm.
He had an autistic fixation on like diners and diner food. Where he taught story where Bob's Big Boy, like the milkshake was so good, he needed know how they made the milkshake, so he actually dug the garbage can just to find
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the
He looked at the can of like shit or whatever, and he was like, I
yeah
couldn't make out a single thing on the can, and I was incredibly disturbed, and I
yeah.
stopped going to
And he
bother
also
to
had a hobby of collecting like making
get.
taxidermies, dead animals and stuff, or just
Oh
messing with
yeah,
dead
yeah,
animal parts,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
taking them apart and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
his dad, he tells in that documentary, his dad found out his dad walked in like the basement or whatever. It was like, he's like, son, you are a sick man or something. That's like his
Mm-hmm.
dad said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I
Uh,
was looking at some like little letter thing or whatever he wrote to his parents when Elephant Man was like put out, and it was just him going like, mom dot 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 and dad uh, whatever you do, don't see my film The Elephant Man, and don't tell anybody that I made it or whatever. Don't tell your friends that I made it. Or did I say Elephant Man? I'm in Eraserhead.
oh, it's probably Eraserhead.
I'm in Eraserhead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also David Lynch. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about. I think you were gonna talk about something, but I completely interrupted you. I don't know, but yeah, the Return of the Jedi story is funny. How he's talking about describing George Lucas, and he was saying that they drove. He was so David Lynch. He was so hungry that when they drove to the restaurant, he said that George. He's like he's a very short man, and he's talking about how he's like leaned in his seat. He's all like dry. He's all leaned in, but he's so small. And that's how he's describing the driver of the restaurant. And it said all they had was vegetarian food or salads. I like salad, but I ain't want no fucking salad. and
I like that he gets in like, and I like salad, and I appreciate salad,
yeah,
but I do not want a salad.
yeah, he wants to eat his diner
He
burger.
just like he just like me for real, dude.
Yeah, yeah, that's why Twin Peaks there was emphasis on like the diner and stuff. Cherry pie and black coffee. Black as the uh, what is it? Black as the midnight. What was I forgot the line. The
I
other
don't
always
remember.
says. Yeah, cherry pie and black coffee, which actually sounds pretty good right now. But yeah, and we can't forget that Gordon or his character on that show was the ultimate
Gore.
Rizzler.
Mm.
You make me want. I still use that. I take that. I steal that line from him in that show. It's like you make me want to speak a little French. I use
So
that
fucking good,
line,
dude.
dude. It actually
Ugh.
works, dude.
Fuck, I'm gonna steal that later, dude.
Yeah. No, I use that. I actually like make me want to speak a little French.
Mm.
uh, yeah.
Kill for a hair tie right now.
And Dave and
What?
David is a Washington native. A lot of people think he's from the Midwest. He's actually from Washington, and
God knows how he ended up sounding like he sounds, but yeah.
well, there's people that sound like that. The Northwest. There's people in Oregon that have like I'm just like, what is your accent? You're West Coast, but there's people who also have like sort of Southern accents and stuff. Like there's a lot of people like that around here. There's some people that talk like him and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what dialect that is, but uh, I heard somebody said that it was like it's more actually like of a like Wyoming, North Dakota type, Montana accent, but some reason just kind of forward. Because my grandma from North Dakota, she talks like David Lynch. She kind of has a David Lynch dialect. It's not Southern. It's not even like Midwest. It's like a weird. Uh, she talks like this, and like there's a weird uh
Julian, today I want you to visit your grandmother.
yeah, she kind of talks.
Is that what
Yeah,
some?
it's oh Jesus, oh Juliet, oh it's yeah, there's this weird like dialect, but I guess from North Dakota. That's how a lot of people there talk. But
I'm just
uh
picturing David Lynch in like drag, like dressed like a golden girl as your grandmother.
yeah, but uh but yeah, I was gonna say about that is that Twin Peaks is the best artistic depiction of the Pacific Northwest. It's the most accurate depiction. That's actually what it feels like in all those small towns. And Twin Peaks reminds me of the town of Sweet Home, Oregon, which is actually where my dad grew up, and it reminds me exactly like Twin Peaks. And yeah, it's very accurate. All those towns are like that. It's always like the nicest people and stuff. Everybody seems nice, but there's always like a weird dark thing, like somebody was murdered, raped and murdered, or something. There's always in all those towns there's like a dark secret. It's just very like accurate and yeah, it's just uh yeah, that's something I liked about it, the show. But uh yeah. Uh let's see. So go through his super chat questions though. I could well we went through his like some of his like short films and stuff. Could go through his feature length stuff.
What's
So
the first David Lynch movie you saw?
the first one I saw it was Eraserhead, which is his first
Hmm.
film.
Hmm. I saw. I I watched.
I think
Blue.
it might. I'm gonna correct that. It may have been Dude, actually. I feel
Dune's
like I
probably
know
the
those are around the same time. I saw those. But I saw Twin. I think I saw Twin Peaks. I saw Twin Peaks. Before any of those. Before I even
hmm
know who he was. I don't know on TV. Like my parents watching when I was like 8 or something. So that's actually the first. But I think it's either Eraserhead or Twin or Dude. I don't. I think it might have been Dude. I feel like because when I was like a kid, around 10 and stuff, I had a phase where I watched all the and shown all the both like 80s action and like even like sci-fi movies, and that was like one of the ones I watched it, those ones. So yeah, I think Dune was probably actually the first one I saw. But yeah, what was the first one?
Blue Velvet, and I watched it with my mother eating Mexican food on the couch, and it's one of my happiest memories from my youth. 'Cause I was pretty young,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, Blue Velvet. I watched that one, and think I was like, I think I watched that one. When I was like 13. I think.
I think I was 12, maybe 11.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Uh,
I don't know, maybe it was later, but I was pretty well aware of his whole like thing for like a while. Yeah. And yeah. Oh, and also Isabella Ross leading that movie, big sort of sexual awakening thing for me.
oh yeah,
Sort of did something.
yeah, yeah. She is man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's
What was
fucked.
that joke I made? Oh yeah, where uh no, it's not. I didn't make this joke. Somebody on 4chan. I've used this joke before, but it's stolen from 4chan, like green text, like on slash TV or something, where uh somebody uh made a joke because they're talking about the whole David Lynch, like Roger Ebert crying about David, like Blue Velvet and stuff, and like, soying out, and then it just said like, like Roger Ebert spurging out about Blue Velvet, blah 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 blah, and then they list all his points, and then it just says like David Lynch. He's smiling while balls deep in his Mussolini or something.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like this red carpet interview where Roger Ebert comes up to David Lynch. I think it's like at the Oscars or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, David, and David's like, hello, Roger. And it's kind of a long thing, but the basic summation or whatever of it is Roger goes like, you promised me at the Cannes Film Festival that if Mulholland Drive gets nominated for an Oscar, you'll explain the whole thing to me or whatever. And it's like, now it's time to pay up or whatever. And David goes, it's always nice to see you, Roger. And then he walks off. And I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, yeah.
David was, that's what I was talking about earlier, like at the life achievement thing, how he didn't really react, or I think even when he got up and talked, he didn't say much. And David was he was a total Sigma.
Sigma's fuck, dude. Yeah.
And it was interesting about him too is he was really into routines, and he said that's what helped his creativity was having like a very like mundane routine every day. That's what
he said. He would eat the same thing for lunch and separately the same thing for dinner every day for a while.
Yeah. And he just ate like, it was like chicken, broccoli,
and a little soy sauce.
A little soy sauce, black coffee, and then cigarettes.
For lunch, tomato, tuna, some I don't know, whatever. And a little wasabi sauce.
Yeah, then he drank black coffee and cigarettes. That was his diet.
Mm-hmm. Put the cigarettes right in the coffee. Drink it.
Yeah.
Let it dissolve.
Yeah. But
I respect his upon his public announcement of his illness. I respect his what he said about the cigarettes or whatever.
What did he say?
He said something along the lines of I don't regret it. I loved doing it. I like every addict. I just wish that what I loved was good for me or whatever. I owe that to myself and the cigarettes or whatever. Like acknowledging his own whatever.
Yeah. But I can go through his. We talked about a lot of these already, but I could go through some, his films. Give thoughts.
I would like. May I say something about Eraserhead?
Yes.
The first time I watched that movie like in full, because like obviously like going through all the taped television specials about him and all this and whatever, and just being young and watching clips on YouTube, I'd seen a good deal of it. I watched it for the first time officially with my friend August, who had never seen a David Lynch movie. I don't know if he had heard of him or not. Probably like from like his parents or something. Definitely hadn't seen a David Lynch movie. And I turned on Eraserhead or whatever, and I was like, let's just watch this. And he's like, okay. And despite, to my understanding, not having like an obvious like access to the sort of like odd language of that film or whatever, and not really having seen much that you could really call surrealist or experimental or whatever, at least in terms of just like a narrative film, and it's a pretty long film if I remember right.
It's not long and late. It just feels
It feels long.
long.
It
Yeah.
does feel a little long. Um, but I, he, I'll move ahead a little bit. He posted a thing with David Lynch, and I was kind of like, I was a dick about it. I like DM'd him or whatever. Like, what is it? What does this mean to you exactly? And he was just like, I really loved Eraserhead, and I really saw myself in that film. And I was like, I was embarrassed and very moved because I mean that's probably I mean that I think that all sort of speaks for itself. You know that Gus is a freak and that that art transcends just like being a an asshole like artsy fartsy film fan or whatever.
Right. Well, and also, I showed a while back. I showed my roommate Eraserhead because he told me he's all, I was watching. I was showing him movies and stuff, and like opening him up to like other stuff. A lot of stuff he's never seen. Like, he never saw Taxi Driver before, so I showed him Taxi Driver, things like that. But then he's all like, he's like, put on. He's like, and this I sold most of my movie collection a long time ago. Eraserhead's a movie I owned and sold, but he's like, show me the weirdest movie you own, and at that time it was just Eraserhead, and I was like, okay, I'll show you Eraserhead then, and he almost seems scared of it. He watched
Yeah.
it, and he's watching this. I think he was smoking like, and I think he was like smoking out of his pipe while watching. I remember he's sitting in the garage because we had the TV in the garage. He's smoking. He's sitting in his chair like this, summertime, smoking his pipe. He's like, dude. He's like, I don't even know what's. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can watch this. He almost seemed like, almost like scared. It's probably the weed too. He's smoking weed,
Oh,
watching this.
terrible
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
weed.
That's what
What?
made me laugh too. It's like he's clearly high as well, like watching this. It's like
Oh
getting
my
in his
god.
head too much about it.
Is I mean, oh my god. Well, yeah, I think that from what I've seen, I haven't seen like Moon Empire or whatever. Um Eraserhead is probably his most like aggressively like leaning away from the audience kind of. It doesn't have like the sort of like genre hooks or like the sweet like pie and coffee kind of thing that like a Twin Peaks has or a Blue Velvet has, and obviously is therefore a little bit more of an alien object.
Yeah, and
But it's one of his movies that I've already seen that I'd really most like to return to and give another shot to, because I don't know how I felt exactly about it after I watched it.
yeah, and not shitting on my old, not shitting on my old roommate, but he has quite so as if I watch movies with him, like he picks quite I would say questionable movies, like stuff I never heard of, but it's like after I watch it, I was like, it doesn't look. Yeah, I'll watch it. Like some action movie, but it doesn't look. I was like, looks maybe kind of interesting to watch. And I'm like, ooh, like I kind of questioned his movie picks, but what was interesting about him was, uh, the movies I showed that he really responded to. I saw that like a person that's not like a cinephile or anything. The movies he responded with really good were Taxi Driver, and this one was interesting. Dress to Kill. He really liked Dress to Kill. We were
Cool.
watching it, he was really like into it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
cool.
yeah, and I did that one I didn't expect
Hmm.
to be really be into, but that's the one. He was Taxi Driver. I could kind of like see.
Well,
It's
Taxi
kind of
Driver is
it's a
like
film, bro. That's why too. But well, he's into like collecting like guns and weapons. So obviously Taxi Driver, right? And he thought that was cool. So Taxi Driver is kind of an easy one to kind of that like I feel, but Dress to Kill was the one I was like, oh, interesting. Like that's you really like react to, like
Mhm.
yeah, I like that movie, but uh, yeah, yeah, Eraserhead. Oh, I have to find the quote. It is so bad. I mean, it is just like,
What are we talking about?
oh my god. You know who the worst band is?
What?
AJR. You know, when I
Oh,
bring them up, they sample In Heaven, and I'm trying to find
they
the quote.
have
And
a
you
lot.
think, oh, they sampled it because they're like, fans. No, they sample it because they fucking uh okay, this is they thought the movie was stupid and that it was like to make fun of like this whole like Reddit irony thing. Let me find the yeah. Here's the quote. Uh, Went to Columbia this semester. While we were writing this album, me and Jack went part time. We went part time because we kind of needed to get outside ourselves. So we took a bunch of film classes. First of all, that is gay as fuck right there. We need to get outside of ourselves, so we took film classes to enlighten us. That is so gay, dude. We had to
Agreeing.
watch this movie in class. We hated the movie so much. We were laughing the whole time. And then she came on, started singing the song. We were like, in heaven, everything is fine. This has to go on our album. It's so catchy, so haunting, and beautiful. We had the idea, started writing the birthday party song. Or like, oh my god, this is the bridge to the birthday party. And yeah, maybe it was a lot worse than I remember the quote being, but it is like there are these. It's like they did like that's the problem too with a lot of this, like it's like in this whole like irony kind of way, which I hate. And you know who hates irony, which I agree with, is like John Waters was talking about that how there's like
I
a
read that.
generation of people that everything is like that to do is like that's transgressive edge. It's all in the name of irony and there's no sincerity, and I totally
Yeah,
agree. And you see that with a lot of movies like now, like satirical type movies and stuff, or like different things. Like it's all layered in irony. Like I mean, like look at the. I know the Deadpool movie is supposed to be comedies, but like maybe that's not a good example.
well,
Deadpool
no,
movie is
I
not a good
think
example,
so.
but like
I think it's a
Marvel
great.
movie, like the MCU movies, how uh like or some of these superhero movies where it's a serious movie, but they have moments in it where they're like, "Ha ha, isn't this cheesy, guys?" But then they do something that's like really fucking cheesy, and it makes no sense. But like so many movies do that, and you see this too. Like, there's a lot of like remakes of older movies or things based on TV shows, old TV shows and stuff, and they make them ironic. I think like did this a lot of like a lot of the 70s TV shows and stuff that were serious, and then they made movie versions, but they're all like comedies and like almost making fun of the shows and stuff. Like they did that with I think that Fantasy Island nobody watched, and like Land of the Lost, they did that a long time ago, like which is it's like serious shows, but they did it in like an ironic, goofy way, and it's really like I'm so tired of this, and
It's dreadful. Yeah.
yeah, and like it's that I hate that term too. Like it's self aware. at least it's self-aware. It's like it's so like Reddit ass, and that's also what made the like that the Star Wars like the Last Jedi was like that, and it's the weirdest movie in the Star Wars series because it's like makes fun of itself and it's like ironic in parts and it's just like what like this is supposed to be like straightforward. You're not supposed to like especially like a Star Wars like you're not supposed to like break out in like an ironic moment or that's not like allowed in the
I
rules of
just
the universe like it's and Ryan Johnson all of his movies are like that and yeah I'm tired of this whole Reddit irony like in art. I'm so done tired of it.
yeah, I'm done with it too.
Yeah, but yeah anywho, but yeah, AJR is a band that should be put in a fucking death camp for the fucking horrendous evil music they've made. I mean, when I hear their music, I know this isn't about AJR, but when I hear their music, they're one of the few bands that makes me go like this when I hear the music. Ooh,
No,
oh, I actually like cringe up like oh.
no, yeah, it's yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's
Today I'm thinking about AGR. What's an AGR song?
AJR.
AJR.
Yeah.
What's an AJR song?
Um.
Today I'm thinking about AJR, the birthday party song, where they sample my film. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he heard it. Maybe he heard
I
it.
feel like he probably did that on a I wouldn't be surprised if he brought it up. This is weather report things.
Today I'm thinking about some faggots.
Yeah. Oh,
Hi, I'm here. Oh my
hello.
God. Sorry, I just wanted to see if anything was happening.
Hello, hello.
No, we're talking about
Wait,
AJR.
I unfortunately can't commit because I'm playing music.
Okay.
Should I bring my laptop?
You can.
What are you guys doing? Is this the tribute to Lynch?
We've been talking about David the Lynch the whole time, but we went on a tangent about the worst band of all time, AJR, because they sampled Eraserhead in one of their songs, and they did an interview where they were shitting on the movie and Lynch and saying this is stupid, this movie's dumb,
Yo,
while they
that's
make the
cool.
worst music of all time. And I went on record as saying that AGR should be put in a fucking death camp for the atrocity they committed, which is their music.
So,
Hello.
what's what's your name? The guy on to my left.
Me?
Yes, you. You're under me, Ash. I know your name.
I'm Zach. I'm also in the group chat.
Are
Hi.
you one of the angels? Is this what's happening?
I
Yes.
must be. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, an honor. All right. Well, I'll get my laptop.
Okay. See ya, honey. All right. No, we talk to each other like that. We talk.
I'm so happy. Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
What are you sick with exactly?
I got the gay cancer. No, I don't know. It's the flu that everybody I know has been getting,
Everyone I know's gotten a cold recently.
or a cold. That's what it is. Yeah.
Damn, I'm really
Flu,
fucking.
cold. What's the difference? I don't know. Actually, they're different.
Actually, influenza. You fucking health fag.
Yeah. Could be COVID. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? I'm gonna go out like a
Your
baller,
day was-
like David. Um, she implied that she's coming back. So
She did, didn't she?
Madame Paris. So uh, let's go. So we talk. I don't know what's there to talk about with the Eraserhead.
Nothing. I mean, to be fair, um, I feel like there's very few filmmakers less like I mean, I think David's one of the most like the word over kind of comes to mind. I don't know, but he is without a doubt one of the most talked about filmmakers ever, and one of the most um discussed and
Oh, what?
yeah.
Never mind. I'm just gonna leave it on
What?
red. Go on. So stupid.
Some fucking bitch or what?
Just some. It, I'm not even gonna explain it on stream because it's well. First of all, nobody knows what I'm talking about, and it would just be really like boring and like complicated.
I'm
It's
sure
something I've already dealt. I don't know. Let's move on.
anyway, yeah, well people like he's well tread as as a point of analysis or whatever. I don't know how much like new shit can really be said. Um I just mean said in a I don't mean to say that in a way that's like, you know, people can't get anything new from his art anymore or whatever. But I just feel like mm, I think there's a couple narratives that are pretty much substantial or whatever that you can kind of go off of. Um, I've noticed a lot of people say that one of the best things about him is his that whole Americana thing or whatever, and that whole like uh, moral outlook, very much informed by you know, like sort of old fashioned American values or whatever. Um, was because that was so genuine to him. His work or whatever stands higher than like um more one note like rip-offs of him that do it with, as you were saying, irony and what have you. And that's one thing that a point about him that's been made that's sort of been like heartening to hear, and that like people like kind of get that or at least like respect it or something. You have any feelings on that at all?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm so fucking sick right now that I was like spacing out.
Don't worry, baby. You're okay.
I was like, I'm so out of it. I'm in like.
Are you okay? When you said you're saying you were crying earlier, is that like just like eyes watering or is that like pain?
It's just eyes watering. I go from like coughing or sneezing too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if earlier I was saying I couldn't tell if I was crying over David earlier. I couldn't
Right,
tell.
I remember.
Yeah. I could have been at the same time. I don't know. Um, but I got distracted with these dumb messages.
From some who
Yeah. Let's see. Elephant Man, sad movie.
sad as fuck, dude.
I forget. I always forget that
Well, not
movie.
sad. Whatever.
I think I've done this topic before, and I've done it where I've talked about depressing movies and stuff. I always forget about that movie. Um, that movie,
Um,
I'm trying to remember if it made me. I think I might have cried over it. I don't remember, but it's been a while since I've watched it. But
I
yeah,
I find it probably the most moving film of his career, which is maybe not a surprise given the material or whatever, but or at least like the way he went about it. But I think that it's really impressive, the moving and very empathetic um view or whatever of the thing without being schmaltzy or kind of overly saccharine or whatever. And for a guy who's like second film it is, and first film that's not just a complete experiment, really, I think that's pretty impressive.
right.
He was just genuinely uh, uh, just he was just great with the medium, beyond any cute little auteurist flourishes. He just knew what he was doing always, I think.
And who is surprisingly still alive, responsible for the funding, producing the movie, is Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
He's responsible for, and yeah, he's still alive.
yeah.
he,
And he must
uh,
be a fair bit older than
oh,
David.
way older. Dude, I think Mel Brooks, I think it's like 99 years old.
Might be, yeah.
He's like 20 years older than David. Just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and he doesn't seem that. I've seen recent stuff, and he doesn't seem that bad, health wise or anything. But you know who I think is gonna go. I've been saying it for a long time, but I really think this is the time, and when it does, I'm gonna be back doing this type of stream. Clint Eastwood.
No, I know.
He's coming out
I
with
know.
that new. Did he already came out with that movie, The Juror?
Juror number two or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about it. I saw a little, not trailer, but like I've seen some like pictures and what have
I've
you.
seen the behind the scenes, and it's just brutal.
Well, he made the wise decision of not like putting himself in it, and I
Yeah,
mean, I feel like people of his age have made great films, so I don't know.
but he is just so like
He can
he's
direct from the chair. He's fine. He's probably been fucking directing from the chair since he was like 40.
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. Do you see his Twitter?
Have I? Is
It's
it
pretty
like an
funny.
obvious like intern posting?
Yeah, and it's just random pictures of him, and what they put like watermarks. It's like Clint Eastwood, Hollywood legend watermarks. It's a really big. It's bad Photoshop watermarks over the pictures. It's like Clint at his doctor's office, doctor's appointment. He's fake strangling the doctor. It's like things, and that's like blurry photos of Clint. It's just random Clint doing everyday things. Just random blurry photos.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Having a cup of tea. I love
yeah.
it.
It's just stuff like that, and they're all badly taken. All the photos.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
yeah, yeah. I remember David Lynch used to tweet a lot. He would even like he would back then he was regarded like as the best
I think I have
tweeter,
something in common with
like
the
shit
movie.
poster. Like he used to be like a shit poster guy. That he just stopped because I don't like the past however many
Yeah,
years. I
got
don't
bored
remember
with it, I'm
tweeting
sure.
him often or anything. But yeah, back then he was like a shit poster guy. That's what he was known for.
Hmm.
Yeah, But yeah, it was very epic. Let me see. Uh, Dude.
Fire. Absolute fire.
I like I I like it better than the Denis Villeneuve dude.
Didn't even know, yeah.
Villeneuve, however you say his fucking gay French
The Del New
Canadian name. He's not even French. He's a French Canadian.
Quebecois.
Are you? Do you like those? I've never. I didn't even watch the second one because the
I didn't
first
watch
one.
the second one either. I just watched the first one.
I'm not. I You know what I learned after
Mm.
watching that. I'm like, you know what? I just don't think I'm a fan of Dune in general. I tried getting myself for ever since I was like 12. I tried getting myself into Dune. Try reading the books. I read the first. Oh, read this one. And then like I did. Then I was like, I could not even get myself into Dune.
The Dune Man. Yeah.
It's like
like
cooler. It's like a cooler.
Star Wars.
It's cooler. It's a cooler Star Wars. But it's way more boring, and it's just not as interesting too. It's about like spices. I don't know.
I don't know what's wrong
Whatever.
with
I don't
spices
fucking
per
give
se.
a fuck about spices. Like,
I don't know. I never read the books. I only saw the first Villeneuve, and I thought it was okay. I really just fuck with his Dune. I don't know.
yeah, I
I
don't
love
care
his
that it's nothing
decision.
like Dude. It's just yeah, it's just its own thing, which I really like. It's just cool too that he got to make his own like Star Wars type movie or whatever. I
I
never
think
did,
his
but
Baron Harkonnen or whatever is like um, one of the best and most sort of like whisper in your ear like I'm saying something else things. And I don't know. It's just great.
well,
Beautiful ladies already be such beautiful ladies.
yeah, and yeah, he should have directed Return of the Jedi. It was actually a lot better movie, and but I know there's like that's a discourse on YouTube as well and stuff, or on the internet. Like there's those like what do you even call them? Film bros. Like I guess they're film bros. Like the guys that just kind of watch. They only watch like Marvel movies and like 80s action movies. That's how far back they go. And they're all like they talk about like I've heard them talk about the David Lynch like a Dune thing or Return of the Jedi thing. They're all like that would have been so bad. Have you seen Dune? It just would have been weird and it's so bad. That's how they say it too. I'm just like, no, it
Yeah.
actually would have been way more arts. It would have been, and I think it would have been still Star Wars. It still would have been the same, but it would have been
It'd
more
be
interesting
hard to
filmmaking
well, I
aspect.
mean, I can't imagine that under like Lucas and whoever else, he would have had like the free reign to like make it his own in the way that he did with Dune. And
Yeah,
I'm sure
no,
that
but
for
even
him, for his taste, what he had to like give up or whatever on Dune, I'm sure for him was an agony or whatever he would say. But I think compared to what like treatment he would have gotten on like a Star Wars film at that point, like a post
it would have
Empire
been way more.
Star Wars film, it would have been a lot more impressive. I
Yeah,
can't.
but
I
I think it would have just been more interesting film. I like that's why Empire Strikes Back is a lot more like filmmaking wise because Irvin Kershner did it, not George Lucas, uh
I probably the
but
best
Irvin
director.
Kershner is kind of a funny one that is out of all the movies I've seen of he's made that's probably his most that's his best movie
Well, didn't he
making.
do Body Heat or no? Was
He
it the
did Eyes
guy
Before
who
Mars.
wrote Empire or something? Did Body Heat? Someone who
He wrote. I almost think he did write. Didn't he write a De Palma movie? I almost think he did.
I
You
don't
know, he
remember.
did Body Heat. Didn't he do Body? He might have. I don't know.
What? Someone on fucking Star Wars that
It
you
was
wouldn't.
probably him because he did that type. You know, because he made Eyes of Laura Mars, which I actually do like. Like
I
there is
never liked,
interesting filmmaking stuff in that, but
but sure, yeah.
he but okay, he did RoboCop 2. Oof. Oh.
Bad. I never saw it.
It's actually it's probably like a it's probably like a 5 out of 10 movie. I just remember being like it's very like mid. The one that's bad is RoboCop 3 is pretty bad. Or yeah, the remake I didn't even watch, but he did some movies I never heard of in the 60s, but oh yeah, he did Spies. SPYS. Spies.
Mm,
Um
right.
Return of a Man Called Horse, Eyes of Laura Mars, Empire Strikes Back. And this movie's not very good. The Never Say Never Again, the James Bond, the unofficial James Bond movie with Sean Connery, did in the 80s. It's like James Bond's like older. Um, Not a very good movie.
Weird. I'm not really aware.
RoboCop 2, which is his last movie, sucked. Or it's mid. It's weird he made that.
Robo
Yeah,
once
did he
more.
write? I don't see any writing credits. Yeah, I forgot because last night, yeah, I forgot he's in Last Temptation of Christ. He's in that. I was watching that last night.
Who? What?
Irvin Kershner is in Last Temptation of Christ. He's in it for
He
a bit.
acted in that film? Who did he play?
Yeah, one of the I don't know the. He's not a disciple. I don't think he's one of the. I think he's one of the people that
Was he a Roman or what?
No, he's a Jew in it. Well, Irvin Kershner's a Jew in real life, but yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's a Jew.
Dustin Hoffman's a Jew in that movie.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
Jew, but he's he no, he's like one of the guys. He's like yelling at when after the water, he turns the water to wine. He's one of the guys. That's like he's like he's using magic or dark magic. He's one of the guys that yells that or whatever.
um,
And
well,
but Irvin
cool. I
Kershner's
kind
very
of fuck
stand
that.
out. He has a very like he talks like he has a like Kermit the Frog type voice. He has a weird like voice. Hear him talk, and it's very obviously him. I'm very familiar with him too because when I was a kid, I had the Star Wars Special Edition VHS tapes, and they would have the behind the scenes at the beginning, and they would interview like George Lucas and stuff, and they had him. He was in the tapes, and that's how I remember who he was because he was in the behind the scenes. He has a very distinct, weird voice, and I've seen those behind the scene videos. I don't know how many times because I watched those so many times as a kid, and I would actually sit through the behind the scenes because I didn't feel like fast forwarding through. But
Um, yeah.
yeah, we went on a tangent about Irvin Kershner, but very interesting filmmaker, obviously. Yeah, I guess he is. I was saying as a joke, but yeah, he is kind of weird
No,
filmography.
I mean he is.
Yeah, interesting filmography.
Um,
Oh, or John Carpenter wrote Eyes of Laura Mars. I don't know if
yeah,
that's what you're
right.
thinking.
Didn't he? Which is interesting.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about John today.
it would have been that movie. I mean, I like that movie. I know a lot of there's a lot of people that dislike that movie. I like that movie quite a bit. It might have been better if John Carpenter made it. Probably would have been better. But what I
I
like about that movie is it's like which a lot of people I don't think like about because it was also produced by John Peters, the infamous John Peters, and so um, there's a
rape.
lot of like weird New York. Well, John Peters from L.A., but he's like a hairdresser guy, so there's a lot of that weird like modeling culture stuff in it. That's what I like about it. It's like 70s New York, like Runaway. I kind of even the movie, like a lot of the scenes, it looks like magazines, like fashion magazines at the time. It's like filmed like that. So there's things like that. That's what I like about the movie. It
You
has
should watch Exposed.
interesting. Look at it.
Um, I might have to go sort of soon.
Okay.
Are there like Lynch movies you'd care to address specifically? Because like I got like
I don't know. I don't know what else there's to say about the other.
I it's kind of a non sequitur or whatever, but you see Firewalk with Me?
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where Ray Weiss is his name, the actor? Leland Palmer?
Yeah.
Where they're at the dinner table or whatever, and he goes to Laura Palmer. It's something about her nails. Do you remember this scene?
Oh, I'm trying to remember what exactly. Does he have a problem with the nails? I don't remember.
There's dirt under them or something.
Yeah.
It's filthy. That's one of my favorite scenes in any of the Lynch stuff, and I just wanted to bring it up because whenever I bring it up, no one remembers what I'm talking about. So that'll be my very special bringing something up about Lynch that nobody brings up, and that's just that little scene that I like.
Okay. I can wrap this up. Um, yeah, I'll wrap this up, I guess. Yeah, rest in peace to the GOAT, which people have been saying. That's
Oh
all.
yeah, no, he is basically, yeah, like kind of objectively.
Yeah, the GOAT.
He's the goat, dude. Oh my god, I'm really gonna miss him so deeply, and I haven't teared up much today, except sometimes I'll see a little comment, something along the lines of "I'm so grateful," and this is much the same way I felt when I was when Godard died.
Uh-huh.
I'm so grateful that I was alive at the same time as this man. And whenever I see that, I get a little moved because I think that's just one of the just truest things you can say.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was something of a privilege to be alive at the same time as such a great artist, and I think that's very genuine. And I feel just about the same.
Absolutely. Um. All right. Well, that has been an interesting episode stream. Yeah. Thanks for watching.